I've talked about pseudowrite a lot on this channel, and in this video we're going over a tactic that is used by many, including myself a lot of the time, to really get the most out of the text generation in pseudowrite. But it doesn't just apply to pseudowrite. You can use this in ChatGPT, in Claude. There are a number of different ways that this can help you. We are going to be using pseudowrite for demonstration purposes because I do think that it is still the best all-in-one package for authors that want to write with AI. Now, I can't take credit for all of the information I'm going to cover today. A lot of this is due to this excellent Google Doc that was put together by Mendy, who is a member of a number of different writing communities, but notably, she's also one of the members in my Discord, which you should definitely check out. You can find the link below if you're looking for it. And I'll also leave a link to this Google Doc in there as well because she's continuously updating it. But the concept we're talking about today is called Bring Your Own Beats, or BYOB. She talks a lot about it and has a really good structured approach here. BYOB is great for discovery writers who are just figuring out the story as they go, but it also works for detailed plotters. If you are a plotter like I am and you really want to get all of the details so that the AI knows exactly what to do, it's good for that. It's also good if you use alternate outlines that pseudowrite does not have inherently built into it. It's also good for complex outlines. It's also good if you've already started a book, say you have half a manuscript already done, and you have the outline for what comes next and you just want to use AI to write that, then you can use that. And this is an important one. This is really good for saving your pseudowrite word allotment, because pseudowrite, one of the biggest downsides to it, which isn't really a downside per se because most tools are this way, but it only gives you a limited number of words every month. Usually, if you're taking the recommended tier, the one I recommend, you get 90,000 words a month. And if you are going into pseudowrite and using, the generate here to create a synopsis and to create characters and to create your outline and to create your beats, you're going to be using up a lot of those words long before you ever get to generating the actual prose here. And so this method, Bring Your Own Beats, is a great way to save on a lot of those words. So the basic idea behind this is quite simple, honestly, but we're going to break it down. The basic idea is that you write out your story beats before you get to pseudowrite. Now, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, pseudowrite has this section in Story Engine called the beats, where you basically list out in a numbered format, 1, 2, 3, etc., what happens in the scene, one step at a time. And you can generate these using all of the information that you've already placed in pseudowrite in these other fields, or you can write your own and just copy paste them into this space right here. And if you are writing these yourself, there's actually a couple of shortcuts that you can circumvent if you're doing that. You can, for instance, leave this brain dump completely blank. You don't need it. You will still want to include your genre and your style here because that will affect the output significantly. So you want to make sure you're using this match my style thing. And if you're confused about any of this, I have a bunch of videos walking you through Story Engine here in pseudowrite, showing you how you can take each step along the way. You can also leave your synopsis blank because you're essentially creating the chapters in detail over here, and so you don't need this to help you there. Now, for the character box, you are going to need to put something in the character box because this will determine how the AI writes those characters when you're developing your prose. And so I've also got a bunch of videos where I talk about the character box or developing characters for use in AI, to be written in AI. I usually include a brief physical description. I include information about personality types, like do they have a Myers-Briggs personality type, an Enneagram, that kind of thing. And then I usually have information about what they sound like, how they talk, how do they react to different situations, things like that, because those are the kind of things that is most helpful for the AI to be able to write those characters later. I would only include, and this is what Mendy recommends as well, I would only include the characters that are in the scene you are currently writing. So I would have maybe a separate document outside of pseudowrite where you have the full list of characters, and then anytime you're writing a scene, you pick the characters that are relevant to that scene, copy them into this space, and then move on. The outlining section, you can have your full outline here if you want, if you have a chapter outline, but you can also leave this kind of blank. And I say kind of because you are required to have something here. You need to have something, but it can just be a placeholder. Say Act 1, Introduction, and then you say Chapter 1, and then you can just say Stuff Happens. You know, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's just basically a placeholder. And the only reason you need that is because that will open this section here up, Chapter 1. Notice it says Stuff Happens here because it's pulling from that outline. And you can now actually go in and start creating the beats. Now, at this point, we could generate beats, and it knows nothing about this story other than that stuff happens. So it will just make something up. But this isn't about generating beats. This is about bringing your own beats. So here, I'm going to get into some tips and tricks on actually developing your beats based on my own experience and this Google Doc that Mendy created. So the first, and this is a tip that I use a lot on this channel, and that is to be specific. If you have something specific you want to happen in the chapter, make sure it is included in your beats. The second tip is to understand the way Sudowrite processes these story beats. It does so in chunks of 2 that are called strides. So if we have our beats, we have beat 1 here, and then we type in beat 2, it will process those 2 together as it is writing. And then if you have a beat 3 and beat 4, it will process these 2 first, and then under the hood it's basically starting a new prompt and to cover these 2. That's important to know because as you are generating these, you can pause it and it will pause after writing these first 2. You can then edit those if you want, and it will take that edited version into account when it moves into the next stride, the next 2. The next tip, we have a couple of words to use or not use. For one, you want to make sure you're using proper names and nouns and whenever possible instead of pronouns, because sometimes the AI will get confused and it will not know who you're talking about. And so you want to make sure you're always being specific about who it is you're talking about, who's doing what. If you were telling this information to a ghostwriter, you likely wouldn't do that. And so you have to remember that you're talking to an AI, not a person. There are also certain words you want to avoid. For instance, just the way the AI works, you want to avoid contractions if you can, like don't do this. Instead say do not or avoid or something like that. To go along with this, you also want to make sure you're experimenting because sometimes different word choices are going to result in much better or worse results depending on how it goes. And so some of these words, for instance, that Mendy puts into her documents that you want to avoid, those come because of experimentation. And you're going to find that some things work better than others. So be prepared to experiment now and then. Another thing that you can do here is to put in brackets specific instructions. The AI interprets anything that's put in a bracket like this as an instruction to the AI and not a description of what happens in the scene. So you could say, give us a description of the setting or something like that. I don't know, that's probably a bad example, but you get the idea. This is an instruction to the AI, not an explanation of what's happening in the scene. Also, when you're generating beats through Sudowrite, it usually defaults to about 12. And you don't need to do just 12. You can put less than that, you can put more. It all depends on the length of prose that you want in this chapter. Generally speaking, one beat is equivalent to, I'd say, about 200 words at most. 1 to 200 words, somewhere in there. And so that's something to keep in mind. If you have a detailed, lengthy fight scene, you're going to have to choreograph that fight scene beat by beat. Because if you just say in one beat, you say they have a fight, then it's going to be rushed and it's going to be over in 100 words. Whereas you might want it to go on for 500 words. And so you're going to have to specify in 5 beats what that fight would look like. Moving on to the next tip, something you'll see a lot in Sudowrite, if you are generating these automatically, you might actually see it come up with things like guardrails, or you'll see another one called driver. And to explain what these are, guardrails is basically telling the AI, don't do this thing. So guardrails, give us a description of the setting. It's basically telling us not to do that. So using guardrails is a great way to say, avoid weird dialogue or something like that. If you're redoing the beats, this could be a good thing to do. If you noticed it doing something off, you can just ask it not to do that using a guardrail. And a driver, on the other hand, is kind of the opposite. It's telling us this is what is driving the scene. This is important. Another quick tip is that you want to make sure you avoid telling the AI something that is going to happen or some secret, because sometimes it's very common for authors to say, the character doesn't know this, but this is a secret thing that's happening at the same time. The AI will not interpret that the way you want it to. You have to kind of keep your beats as if they are from the protagonist's perspective, and only the things that your protagonist or your readers would know at that point is what you should actually put in the beat. Next tip that I have is that you can actually add a header above these beats in Sudowrite. And so you can put header information here, and this is information it will kind of consider for the entire chapter as you're generating it. So for instance, I like to put setting here and just put information about the setting. I like to put additional style information here. If you didn't have enough room to put it elsewhere, you could put what happened in the previous chapter stuff there, as well as anything else that you feel is critical to the situation. Now, you want to make sure you don't overload the AI with information, because that can mess things up. But these two in particular, the setting and the style, I use quite frequently in this space. The last tip is that once you get to the end of your beats, a easy way to keep it from tying things in a neat little bow like the AI likes to do, which isn't always reliable, but something you can do is just add at the very end, you can add something like end of scene, and do that in capital letters so it pays more attention to it. Or you could say stop scene or something like that. Stop text, any of those will work. Another thing that I like to do here is when you're generating your beats, you generate the first stride, the first 2 beats get generated here. You can use most accurate or best prose, however you like to do it. Then you edit that up to be exactly how you like it, and then you continue. By doing that, you're first of all giving it more information about the style, because it looks at the last stride that it generated and then will generate the next slide or the next stride. And so if you edit that up correctly, it will greatly enhance the quality of the prose that comes after. And you could do that theoretically for each stride, which is something I might do if I were using best prose, which tends to not follow directions as much. So if you're constantly adjusting it and getting it back on track, you're going to have to do less editing overall, because if you just let it run, it ends up in a completely different place at the end of the chapter. Whereas if you edit it as you go, it only gets a little bit off with each stride. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Those are my tips from the Bring Your Own Beats tip sheet, which again is linked down below if you want to check out more of those tips. But it's a fantastic guide for really getting the most out of your beats. I had already been using a lot of these techniques kind of unconsciously just through my own experimentations, but I actually got a whole lot more out of actually reading the doc through thoroughly and applying it in my writing to a certain degree. So definitely check that out. Mindy is in our Discord, and so if you want to talk to her, she's there as well. And I'll see you in the next video.